I'm Gary Nickerson,
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
and this is Outside My Window. Jeff Hiltz was 19 years old and camping with his girlfriend when another camper who had a bit too much to drink came over and caused an altercation where he ended up getting sucker punched. That cut blinded him in his left eye. He's worn an eye patch ever since. It seemed he was destined to be a pirate reenactor. Once he caught the off-road bug, everyone who called me the pirate also called his Jeep, what else? The pirate ship. In 2014, a few members of the group suggested they start an off-road club, so a few names were batted around, and they came up with the Pirate Off-Road Nation. And they all got a kick out of it when they realized the acronym was PORN. As captain of the Pirate Off-Road Nation, he's very proud to promote the nation as a safe and responsible off-road organization. They have zero tolerance toward any illegal behavior, including staying out of waterways and promoting the sport in a positive light. Violators will be forced to walk the plank. In 2017, he joined the Pirates of Halifax reenactor troupe and began looking more and more the part of a pirate. His spirit has earned him to be inducted into the Order of Leviathan, the preeminent recognition of all things pirate. Jeff, great to have you with us today.
Hi, Captain Quinn and Gunner Gary. Great to be here.
Well, welcome aboard. Can I say that? Jeff, before we get into all things pirate, and we should mention, I know that you and Quinn are good friends and have interacted a lot through Quinn's work on the waterfront, and I know you guys are going to get into that because a lot of people have seen you pirates. But let's go back. Let's talk porn, Jeff. So you got bitten with the off-road bug. Now tell me how the Pirate Off-Road Nation came to be.
Right on. Well, I've been into the sport for many, many, many a year, and I had my good friend John Cranfield, who was my mentor. He brought me up wheeling responsibly and teaching me how to do things safely with recovery and everything along those lines. So back when I first got my Jeep and everybody started calling my Jeep the pirate ship, I started a YouTube channel for my and started filming my off-road adventures. And during that time, I was incorporating, how-tos and safety factors in recovery and such like that. And my YouTube channel grew over the years. Actually, it started before YouTube. Back in the day of 25 megabyte video clips on a put file is what I originally used. And then a friend had a server and used to allow me to upload my videos to the server for people to use. And then eventually YouTube came out, and back then it was a big deal because YouTube was allowing 100 megabyte downloads, and wow, that's huge for for that day. Now it's unlimited, and it's crazy. But so it all started with that in my YouTube channel, and then when Facebook started, I started the Facebook group Pirate Jeep Productions for my YouTube channel. And then moving along, like you guys said in the introduction, somebody in 2014 said, "Hey, we should start a club." And I said, yeah, we could do that. And we came out with porn. Everybody loves porn. And but we are, as much as we are pirates, we are also a very responsible off-road group. We concentrate on taking care of the environment without going out and destroying it. We air our tires down so there's less impact on the environment when we're out. as well as we have lockers and better gearing and stuff like that. So we're not having to spin our tires as often and dig up the ground and destroying the environment. So I've taken a lot of pride in the nation and the way we've built it, and even Department of Natural Resources has called us pioneers in the sport, as we are the good guys. We're not the guys that are throwing a case of beer in the back of our truck and hitting the woods. We're out there enjoying our hobby and safely and responsibly, no drugs, no alcohol, and that sort of thing. So we're just actually enjoying our vehicles. And some of the vehicles are stock vehicles that you just bought from the dealership. And we got a brand new Jeep, and you want to go out and get it dirty, put some mud on the tires, as they say. And that's where we come in. We educate and we socialize, and it's all about social wheeling and having a good time. Like-minded people getting together and enjoying our vehicles, talking about our vehicles, modifying our vehicles, and trying to do everything as safely as possible. We want the public to look at us with in a good light. We're not what most people will remember of Uncle Tom that used to go out in his pickup truck with a case of beer in the back, and the boys would get all shit-faced. Those days are behind us now. It used to be acceptable back then, but not so much anymore. So I'm very proud to say that we're a responsible off-road club, and what else can I say? That basically wraps the whole thing up into one ball right there. It's all about being responsible and safe, and so we can bring out families and stuff like that, and everybody can enjoy it.
That's very impressive. Now, is it limited to just Jeep owners?
No, sorry. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. No, and that's where, I actually, where I live up in Spring Hill, when I moved here, all the boys around here had Suzukis, Toyotas, and Chevs, and actually my wife and I were one of the only few that had Jeeps in the area. So we were wheeling with all makes and models, and when you wheel with all makes and models, you got to have a little bit of a thick skin, because they're going to be taking digs at you. If you get your Jeep stuck and they made it through, they're going to be taking digs at you. So you got to have a little bit of a thick skin. So when I started the nation, I said, this is what I want. I want everybody to come together. We're not a Jeep club. We're all makes and models, and that's what makes us great, because anybody can come out. We had a guy come out with a Subaru Crosstrek this winter, which totally impressed us. He was taking that thing everywhere. I was taking my big built, locked, and loaded Jeep. He was following, and there was a couple places where he got hung high and dry, but other than that, and that's the greatest thing. Having an assortment of vehicles on the trail adds for the fun. If it was all everybody drove the exact same vehicle, it would lack that. I'm not sure the word I'm looking for, but it would lack the entertainment factor if everybody's doing the exact same thing, right?
Jeff, where do your members come from?
Well, it actually really surprises me. Back when we started the nation, it started off here in basically a lot of the locals wanted to join, and it was almost like a Nova Scotia club at first. But then we have, we had the odd member that was already on my Facebook page that was from Florida, that was from Australia. We wound up, people from all over the world started joining the page, and they all wanted memberships and decals as well. So the memberships have grown. We right at the moment we're just well over 4,700 paid members around the world, and those members come from 18 different countries around the world. We have people from Thailand, France, England, Germany, Switzerland, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the USA, Brazil, Colombia. Oh gosh, and it goes on. I counted up one day that we had 18 countries involved in the nation, and so yeah, it's completely worldwide, and we encourage anybody to join. You don't even, to be honest, you don't even really have to be. You don't have to own an off-road vehicle to join. If you want to join and just be part of the camaraderie. We do hold some big events that people like to come out and just watch, and that sort of thing. But the nation is really about bringing like-minded people together and social wheeling and socializing is what it's all about.
So certainly, Jeff, COVID's taken a bite out of the Valley Invasion and some of the other events that you might have put together, but it hasn't stopped the wheeling. You might not be able to have a big social gathering, but going out on the trail is still acceptable, right?
Oh yeah, and that's it. Even at the moment, you can't. You're not allowed to have gatherings at all at the moment, inside or out. But I do have a friend of mine who also lives in him and his wife, as well as I live here with just my wife and my mom. And so, with that being said, we're allowed to get together, but we do it, and we play by the book, especially when it's coming to the off-road part of it, because we have CBs in our vehicle. We don't even need to get out and be close to each other at all. Sometimes we have to help each other in recoveries, but my friend and I both have well-built rigs. We go out and we have a lot of fun we didn't need any recovery. So we're not close to each other whatsoever, which is a really good thing. But overall, the restrictions have really put, when you're trying to run a social club and the restrictions are taking the social out of the club, it's made it very difficult and really challenging. I've seen our numbers drop a little bit. Actually, they fluctuate kind of with the restrictions. I see when the restrictions are down, we start getting more memberships and more decals being purchased and stuff like that. And then when the restrictions come out, things start to slow down a little bit. And like you said, losing the Valley Invasion over the last 2 years, that's been a really big hit to us. Like I said, when it comes down to a social club that can't be social, it does kind of put a damper on things. But we have, when the restrictions allow it, we've had a few get-togethers. We keep the numbers tight. We also write down the names and numbers of those who are with us, just in case anybody did wind up having a case of the virus, that we know exactly who was there, who came from where, and that sort of thing. So we do definitely play by the book 100%. At the very moment, the Pirate Off-Road Nation is shut down with restrictions, and so we won't be. There won't be any get-togethers until the restrictions are lifted, and I'm hoping that the backlog is going to get through, and we're going to start seeing numbers come down again, and let these people get back to their lives. But in the meantime, I'll say it like the premier, stay the blazes home, and let's get through this so we can get on with our lives. Because if we don't, businesses are suffering, and their businesses aren't going to get better until people stay home and cut down the possible transmissions. So, but yeah, so we're down right now, and we had a T-shirt that we made for last year since the invasion couldn't happen, and people said, oh, you should make a T-shirt, something to do with well, it was staying home was the big thing last year, and so we our T-shirt said. Gosh, I'm going to have a hard time remembering it now, but it was to the fact that we stayed home in 2020 so we can all be together again in 2021. Unfortunately, it looks like the virus is lasting a little longer, but I have complete faith that we're going to see get-togethers by next summer, and people can get together again, and the social club will reform, and life will be happy, and double rainbow.
So what about the trails, Jeff? Certainly the trails you guys are navigating through don't just, create themselves. Are private operators kind of putting the trails together for you guys to navigate, or is it the club that does that?
Well, it's a bit of both. And a lot of it, a lot of these trails originated as 100 years ago as cart paths for horse, buggy, and before engine. And so a lot of these trails exist right here in Nova Scotia. Down in the Annapolis Valley, there's a lot of what they call J-class roads, and the J-class roads are old roads that used to go from the Annapolis Valley over to the Bay of Fundy, where they used to transport things back and forth during the shipping industries that of the past. We don't have much of a shipping industry from the Bay of Fundy any longer, but back in the day, as you know, the Bay of Fundy was full of ships, and that's how people got their cargo, their milk, their stuff like that. So they wound up with all these J-class roads in the Annapolis Valley, which were very helpful because we're allowed to use the J-class roads, and then we also have some friends that have private land, and those people that have private land, we've gone out and developed our own trails, and we cut them for, if the terrain is there, we look for the obstacles, and we bring the trail through an obstacle, or if we don't have the obstacles, we try to make the trails tight and twisty, and that allows for gives you a little more challenge on the trail. That one of the things that I've always looked for when I'm off-roading is a challenge. If there's no challenge and it's just a Sunday drive in the woods, that's nice, but it's also nice to have a challenge. That's what we build our Jeeps for. We want to make them better so we can, next time I go to that obstacle, I'm going to crawl right over it. And it winds up, people put a lot of money into their vehicles, and Jeep stands for just empty every pocket. And because that's what we're doing. We're throwing money at our vehicles, trying to make them better and better and better. And it takes some time. My wife and I both have Jeeps that we've owned here for basically since they were new. Mine's a 2003, and my wife's is a 2004. And so over the years, with little modifications here and there to get them to where they are today, I am very content with my Jeep the way it sits at the moment. There's still a couple little things that I would like to improve on it, But besides that, over the years, the money that I've put into it, now I've got lock differentials on front and rear, which means all four tires spin at the same time when you're on the trail. And then a crawl ratio where I have dual transfer cases, two transfer cases put together, and that allows my low range to go into double low range, which barely moves. So when you're traversing an obstacle, she will just crawl so nice and slow over it. You got all the time in the world to correct your steering and make sure you're making the right line. And if you wind up bumping into something and it's stopping you and you can't go forward, you just back up, move over, and try it again on another line. And it's really nice because you're not going to wind up breaking stuff. You don't have to force the gas pedal to get you through when you can crawl through. And so that's one of my things. I love rock crawling. We have there's a lot of different people that there's those who like rock crawling. Most newcomers to the sport really just want mud. Everybody wants mud because mud is fun. Mud is a lot of fun. It's slippery, slimy. It adds to a challenge. But that mud also becomes a real pain in the because you got to wash your vehicle after, you got to rinse it out and get the mud out of the bearings, the seals, the joints, and that mud just destroys it. When you go through muddy water, that water's getting into your joints and your bearings, your seals, and it starts destroying it. And after a while that you've been into the hobby, you start to realize that, oh God, every time I go out into that mud water, my brakes are going so fast these days, and I got to replace my brakes. I got to replace my U-joints and things start squeaking. And you start to realize that, oh God, that mud. So at the moment, as much as I still love mud, it's a lot of fun. And, I've got to the point where I'm tired of washing my Jeep. So I don't want to get my Jeep dirty. And at the same time, I know the damage it's doing to the wheel bearings and everything else. So I try to avoid it. And it's funny because you'll quite often see me out with a big group and we're going along, and my Jeep's one of the biggest on the trail. And but I'm the one taking the go around the mud puddle because I don't want to get my Jeep dirty. So you become that way after a while. And a lot of people that have been in the sport a long time, they quite often say the same thing. There are people though that will they're just diehard mud fans and they love it. They just want to get into the mud and spin those tires and throw tails and rooster tails of mud and everything. But yeah, it's great. It's great fun all around, no matter what your idea of off-roading is. And that's the other thing about the Nation. When we built the Nation, it was, we want people to come in and no matter what their idea of, my idea of wheeling is completely different than the newcomer that's his first time out. We take them out and, there's a few rocks they got to go over. Oh God, I don't want to go over these rocks, but then they eventually down the road, they learn that, that's a challenge and that's more fun. But, it all depends on what the person's idea of wheeling is. And we want everybody to feel welcome. So we actually, we break our group up quite often into, when we announce runs, we normally announce a stock friendly run, which is a brand new Jeep off the lot. You can come out and we'll take you somewhere where hopefully We've got the trail cut back enough that you're not going to wind up with trail brush and scratches on your vehicle. And then we have stock doable, which is the next step up, where you might get a scratch on your paint if you come out here on this trail. But, we'll do the best we can to get you through unscathed. And then we have harder trails, for the more experienced and the more modified. But it's I'd say, a big part of it is the newcomers. Watching the newcomers come out, having the stock friendly runs, and that just seems to be, when I post a hardcore run when we're going rock crawling for the day, we get maybe 4 or 5 vehicles that want to come out. When we post a stock friendly run, and we get 30, 40 vehicles that want to come out. So it kind of shows us where people are, and then taking those newcomers out and watching them and seeing what they can't believe the capabilities of their vehicle and what they're actually driving through, makes it really exciting and fun and funny, because you see the person go off over an obstacle they never thought in their wildest dreams they would take their Jeep through, or their Toyota, and they make it through. They swing the door open, jump out, and they're, yes, you can see the enthusiasm, and it's just fantastic.
On their way to the 2019 Valley Invasion, Glenn Balzer and Brian Jowdry ran into some trouble, but then they found out exactly how the Pirate Off-Road Nation treats its members.
I just love getting out with the off-roading community. We had a little hiccup on our way here where I had a brake caliper seize and we got stuck in Berwick. Within 2 minutes of a Facebook post, there were 4 guys tagged. A guy rolling in 5 minutes to come out and help us, and an hour later we're back on the road with a reassembled set of brakes. So big thanks to Zach Quinn for the help.
For Art Maline, it's a family affair when it comes to the Pirate Off-Road Nation.
Being open-minded, like that way, and having, whatever, run what you brung type of thing, it's a good open concept. Anybody can join. I mean, obviously people live far away and, you don't really know them, but they are members of the club. So, I mean, hello from Australia, hello from South America, you know what I mean? It is worldwide, which is really cool. It is more of a family, I guess, or you get that feel of a family, I guess. We spent one weekend, we were all over the place, running into all kinds of club members no matter where we went, which was really cool because we were at Infield, the Irving, the big stop at Irving, and there was like 3 or 4 of them in there having breakfast, and we drove in and there was all these Jeeps with the porn stickers on them, you know what I mean? And so it was kind of cool that you just run into club members.
Billy Cord tells us how he got involved with the Pirate Off-Road Nation.
Well, like many others, I bought a Jeep, a stock, friendly Jeep and then I decided to take it off road, and the modifications began, and then I was on Facebook one day and saw this Off-Road Nation group, and I was a member of some other groups as well that are, specific to brands, but this one was open to all brands. Doesn't matter what you drive, nobody judges you, and we're all there for the same reason, for the love of the outdoors and the adventure, right? So yeah, I was kind of drawn toward the Pirate Off-Road Nation. The answer's right in the name, right? It's an off-road nation. It's right around the world, and it's everybody who enjoys being off-road. So I'm crew number 9. So I've been around for a while. I think there's 5,000 paid members right now, and I think probably close to 20 on Facebook. So 20,000. So I'm crew number 9, and then I joined my wife up as crew number 200. So it was it was a big milestone. I remember back in the day. So yeah, we've been around since day one. So we met so many great people in the nation, over the years that even beyond the off-road we're friends with, and we've made some great friendships there, right? Great relationships. So it was a big draw for us to get into something that again, we're all there for the same reason and for the love of the adventure, helpful hints, and everybody helps each other out in the trail and off the trail. So it was a family environment. It's a really good environment.
We've been speaking with Jeff Hiltz, the Pirate Off-Road Nation. I'm Gary Nickerson.
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
And this has been Outside My Window.